Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful people. Once again, you are welcome to this wonderful YouTube platform. This is Let's Talk TV, your one and only YouTube platform that gives you all quality news and information on everything happening in Biafran territory. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you've not yet subscribed, and make sure you turn on your notification because we will be notifying you whenever we drop our spanking news. Now, without wasting any more time, let us go straight up to this one because there are matters arising and critical issues to talk about this wonderful Saturday morning. Today is Sabath day, and to all our Sabbatarians, let us not forget them to keep the Sabbath day holy. And on that note, I'm going to drop a very critical prophecy for every Biafran to know, and also hear from the mouth of from the mouthpiece of the God, and also hear what the Lord is saying concerning the issues that is happening currently in Biafran land. The Prime Minister Simon Èkpá, I can assure you, is in safe hands, and there is nothing the enemy can do to the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá because he is an innocent man, a man who did not commit any crime, a man who is just going through interrogatory phase. So there is no cause for alarm. And on that note, the prophecy is even clear enough concerning the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá. This is not the first prophecy that has actually come to reality. This is not the second, this is not the third, and this will not be an exception. He will come out victoriously, and he will always remain a hero in Biafran land. Having said that, let us analyze critically an issue that I believe the Janjaweed army has actually been getting wrong. I'll keep on saying this. The issue of the Prime Minister's interrogation or being kept in Finnish detention has nothing to do with the contribution of the Nigerian government in making sure that they bring him down. In fact, I'm going to drop a video of Musa that has been trending. Musa is still crying. Musa is still crying. And he is crying badly because he feels that the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá would have been handed over to the Nigerian government, or rather, they would have extradited him to Nigeria, and handed him over to Musa so that they would buy him immediately. The reality is that, these people do not handle things the way other countries handle things. And Finland is not just a country you can just influence in your criminology or in your corruption, because everything that has to do with that entity and contraption called Nigeria is all about corruption. And Finland is not that kind of country that corruption goes. They follow what is called the rule of law. That is why their laws and practices, they do not actually joke with it. So Musa came out on live TV once again, and he started wailing and crying like a baby. Let us hear what Musa has to say before we go into other critical issues or concerning the Prime Minister and the United States of Biafra. Enjoy this one.
Pushing this idea of, while he's there in comfort, taking the citizenship of another country, but yet fomenting trouble in the southeast. And unfortunately, there are a few people that really don't understand what the man's mindset is. He's having fun, enjoying himself, partying and doing all sorts, and yet pushing people to kill themselves. Whatever it is that he's doing has affected the economy within the general area. This Monday sit at home and all these things. But I'm happy that now finally the Finnish government have seen reason, because they were provided all they needed all the funding he's getting, all the things he's doing. He has taken ownership of the killings. He has taken ownership of a lot of things that have been going on. So they've picked him up now. And I can tell you the jubilation in the southeast has been wonderful because people were just tired of
Was
these
there a
killings.
role played in the arrest of Simon Èkpá by the military by providing information?
No, it's a holistic idea by all the security forces. We looked at where the money, we trailed the money, what he was doing, the comments he was making. He's there live on TV, fermenting trouble, saying all these sorts of things, commanding people and action being taken. And when these things are done, he takes ownership of those things. So these are complaints that
So that is the documentation of all the things
everything
had
handed over to them. And they've seen it and they don't understand that, look, keeping him there is a minus for them. Yeah. Because it doesn't mean well.
Okay, so let's look at this sit-at-home thing. Is it that the military's intelligence is not as good as it used to be? Because the allegation is that the military doesn't even know where IPOB and the ESN, their security agency of IPOB is. Is it that the intelligence of the military is not as good as it used to be?
You see, one thing I need to clarify. Before now, we used to have conventional kind of warfare. One country fighting another country. Then the intelligence will have to go and look at those things. Now, you are dealing with non-state actors. Non-state actors are just ordinary people. If they don't bear arms, you don't know who they are. They're just ordinary people. So that makes it extremely difficult. And so even with the intelligence that you try to do, you have individuals that you cannot tell what is their intent. And then you have these people with ideologies. Those ones with ideology, there's no way you can look at his mind and see what he's doing. But we're leveraging on technology. We're leveraging on because human intelligence for us in an asymmetric warfare is critical. That's why I mentioned that you must get the buy-in of the communities. If the communities accept them, it becomes more difficult. But if they don't, and realizing that these guys are just using them for what they want, and the communities refuse, it makes it difficult for them to operate. So it's not a matter of intelligence. Intelligence have been coming in here and there. Actions have been taken. But like I said, it's a whole of society approach. The armed forces cannot be everywhere. We cannot be everywhere. In fact, if you put in all the security agencies in the world, in the country, we can't man Nigeria totally. So that's why we need people to also look at what they see, they report.
The southern eastern part of this country. And I see myself right there called the Biafran Bite. As I enter there, I am seeing what's called Simon Èkpá surveys in Biafra land. And I begin to ask myself, I thought this man is right there in Finland. Now what's going on? What's going on here? What's happening there? I am seeing the man surveys and has become a completely different person from who you used to know. Has become so wide, has become so strong and so powerful. I begin to ask myself, am I trying to see clear or what is this? Because a major prophet of God cannot begin to give prophecy that are not in the realm of the spirit. And all of a sudden, and this young man appeared right there in the Biafra land. And there was this was called trumpet being blown. And this was called a marching. And this was called parade. And this was called the people formation from different angles and different areas. And I begin to search, how did he enter here? What means did he enter here? What's going on here? Because a major prophet of God cannot see things that are not pure. And all of a sudden the Lord said, do you remember what I told you right there in the sea that appeared yesterday in form of a dragon? I said, yes, I remember. And the Lord said, that's what's called the word power number one. My God. These people are there now, the word power now, or time is coming for one power shift. What's going on? The Lord said, this is what he has revealed to me, because the time is ticking for what's called by fire, by force. Is this going to be the thing that God has shown me 4 years ago? That I begin to ask myself, is there going to be war? And the Lord said, not war, but something very dangerous and unthinkable that no man will agree to embark into war, but rather to come to agreement, rather to come to pinpoint, rather to come to resolving the issues. And what I begin to see, and I see
before opening the line for our people to come in
and of course make their contribution. Now, before that, before showing you the video of our men on ground, I want us to see something. I want us to quickly see what is going on at the moment. Just a minute. Just a minute. All right. All right. It was hot. It was actually hot. My fellow Biafrans, it was really, really hot. Okay, Bazwa. I am telling you the truth. I want to first of all read something before we go into the videos that I have for you. All right. Let us see this one first. This is from the Biafra Liberation, or should I say Biafra Defense Forces. Before I will go to David Hundeyin or whatever his useless name may be, let us see the reality on ground first. Now, I'm going to read this. After reading it, I will begin to play videos for you. This is directly from the X account, the official X handle of the Biafra Defense Forces. According to the tweet, forces of occupation sent by Nigeria government to subjugate, buy, and burn Biafra businesses have been neutralized yesterday in their numbers at Mbosi, Biafra land, as the Biafra Liberation Army engaged them with RPGs, destroyed their armor tank. The enemy force reinforced with their Tucano fighter jet, bombing innocent Biafran homes and businesses. Biafrans in the hostile zone should be vigilant. Biafrans in the hostile zone should be vigilant. This war started since yesterday. This current one that I'm talking about now, of course, this war has been going on. This current one that I'm talking about began since early morning yesterday, because the zoo knew that December 2nd was fixed for the redeclaration of the 40 states and, of course, independent state of Biafra. They knew. That's why they prepared to come and fight us yesterday. And guess what? We dealt with them. Did you get that? Oh, I don't know if you had, maybe you didn't see it properly. We dealt with them. And I want them to understand that the land of Biafra, the land of rising sun, belongs to us, not them. And no matter how equipped they think or they believe they are, it is impossible, 110% impossible for them to come all the way from Sahel into the Biafra land, the land of the rising sun, to defeat the Biafra army in this very guerrilla warfare. I want them to understand this, that it is impossible, 100% impossible. America ran. It is in the history. This is history. America ran away, abandoned their equipment and their war, machines in Afghanistan, because the Taliban, dealt with them via guerrilla warfare. I am not praising them. I am not praising them. I am not praising the Taliban. But this is history. It happened. It happened. We are going to decimate the zoo. And the remaining one will run away for their lives. I'm telling you. Anybody telling you any other nonsense, don't pay attention to them. Don't even try to listen even 1 minute. You don't get freedom at the platter of gold. And remember, there's a video we analyzed yesterday. We analyzed the video yesterday because one idiot trying to play down on what we did, which he finally acknowledged the significance of what we did, what we are doing, and what we did in Finland. And then he said that he don't like, or he doesn't want, he doesn't want the forceful or the violent, breakup of the Zoological Republic. The same Hundeyin also repeated that same thing. I'm going to play that video for you moving forward. Now, let us, please, if you haven't liked or shared this very broadcast, I don't know what you're waiting for. I'm telling you the gospel truth. It is very, very important that you share it, because what we are doing this evening is very, very significant. And I want to tell you that every Biafran would like to, of course, watch and listen to this very gospel. Now, let us see this one. Let us see this one first.
Every day now, every day now, every day now, every day.
Ife abụ ụmụchukwu okike abịama bi n'eluigwe. This is the current situation in Biafra. Now let us see this.
You are driver, you are not there. No man challenges you. All is well. I tell you, I'm not there. Tell anybody who they challenge us. Every day now, every day. Every day now, every day. We are going to Biafra now. We are moving now to Biafra. Every day now, every day. 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 Every day now, every day.
I don't want to analyze it first. I want the video to play. After the video, I will begin to tell you what happened. And I have another full video which I'm going to play moving forward. Now let's continue.
Every day now, every day. Every day, every day. Every day now, every day. Every day now, every day. Every day now, every day. No man, you want die? Gallant man, gallant. I can't tell you, say no be the go. Say no, they enter there. Every day now, every day. Every day now, every day. We go burn this car in the house. We better go every day. Every day now, every day.
Now, time has come when we will begin to tell our own stories without waiting for the zoo. The time has finally arrived when we will begin to tell our own stories without waiting for the zoo to help us. Right? The zoo terrorists in uniform that came to buy the innocent Biafrans in Biafra land met their Waterloo today. I want the Zoo Janjaweed army to come out and tell us who is the owner of this armored car. I'm asking the Zoo Janjaweed terrorists, who is the owner of this armored car that we are seeing? This armored car that we are watching, the zoo should come out and tell us who is the owner. That is the question. But let me continue with the video.
No more challenge, we are moving. See us in the vehicle of those idiots. Where Biafra Liberation Army, we went there and we fired them and no one challenge. We are now with their car and we are moving from one barrack to another. With their car and we fired them and no one challenge. We are now with their car and we fired them and no one challenge. We are now with their car 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 and we are moving from one barrack to another to make sure that we bomb the zoo down. We bomb the zoo down. This Biafra government is moving. Biafra Liberation Army is moving. Biafra Liberation Army. Biafra Liberation Army, we are on our movement now. We have collected their car. I am not going to moto, huh? Nine and trouble. Onye gave pam. Onye gave pam. Onye gave pam. I am going to go here. Jambatule.
Somebody said, where is the python? Hope they are still dancing. Where is the python? Hope they are still. The python can never ever dance again in Biafra land. It is not possible for python to dance again in Biafra land. This is something every Biafran must know and be happy about. Irrespective of the battle going on, python will never ever dance again in Biafra land. It is not possible. Any day python rear its ugly head within Biafra territory, asobaya man or supu to also mokoko. Python can never ever dance again within the Biafra territory. It happened in the days of criminals turning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from left and right, front and back, left and center. I don't even know how they usually say that word. Turning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu upside down. Oku front. Asimbaye me back. Oku ocha. And the criminals that are following him will say, let us do black. When he say white, they will say, let's do black. When he say yellow, they say, let's do green. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is such a nice man who always like to listen to people and give them the benefit of the doubt, opportunity to air their view. And he doesn't want to suppress the people, or not even suppress the people. He doesn't want people to feel that he is oppressing or suppressing them, while he is fighting to liberate them from oppression. You understand? Somebody's asking me irrelevant question. irrelevant question. Is that armored car or Hilux truck? Can you explain to us the meaning of armored car? As you're asking the useless question in the comment section, I don't care who you are, whether you are following us or you're asking a genuine question. Can you explain to us the meaning of armored car? Don't tell us about tanks. Explain to us the meaning, that English word, that's very simple English. Armored car. What does it mean? Can you explain that to us? Asking a useless and idiotic question here. You think I have your time? Now, let's continue. Python, remember it. That Python can never ever dance again in Biafra land. Any day Python raise its ugly head, it will be cut off. The head of the Python will immediately be cut off. The time of Python dance is over. Now we have the you see the way they are parade, that they have taken over the street. They have taken over the street. The zoo and also the highest thing they can do is to fly with their military jet. Within few hours, they'll go back. That's all. Come meet your men on ground. Come and meet our men. You pack them in body bags. The men of Chukwokika Biama parading the street in Biafra land, and the Janjaweed terrorist is nowhere to be found, parading with their own useless armored car. If you like, go on comment section and call it Hilux. You don't know the difference between armored car and tanks. Asking me idiotic question. This is the whether you call it Hilux, this is the vehicle that carried that arm they usually shoot everywhere. Shoot everybody. They drive with this same car, shooting innocent people in Biafra land. You're asking me, is this Hilux or armored car? What is the meaning of armored car? Okay, you won't even give the answer. Somebody said, I'm in Lagos, but never for one day be afraid of talking about Biafra. I'm even spreading the good news of the declaration of my nation, Biafra. Of course, Biafrans can never ever be afraid of any idiot. We are not afraid. Can't you see the People's Army parading in the street of Biafra? This is not Photoshop. This is not Photoshop. With their own armored car, fully loaded. I want the Janjaweed to come here and tell us, how did this vehicle ended up in the hands of the Biafra Liberation Army? It is a simple question. I don't want to explain it to them. They should come here and tell us, how did your vehicle ended up in the hands of the Biafra Liberation Army? The moment that question is answered, then we begin to have proper conversation. This is the current situation in Biafra land today. If you are not in the, if you are, I don't know if I can say if you are not opportuned or if you are lucky. I don't know which one. Because those who you think today that are unlucky to be around the area where this war is going on could be the ones that will be lucky enough to tell the full history of the war tomorrow. So I don't know if I can say if you are lucky enough to see or to be close to the area where this war is going on, or should I say, if you are lucky enough not to be around where the war is going on. But I want to tell you that as it stands today, their anger is that we now have every single thing that they have. We have every single thing that they have been using to suppress us. Let me tell you, raising the military, raising the Biafran army is the best thing that has ever happened to the Biafran people. And it started with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Are you paying attention? It all started with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You see these two men, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Èkpá. I also want to use this opportunity to let the zoo know that we are moving forward. You can never ever stop Biafra. It is impossible. And now that Biafra has been redeclared, I don't know where you are going to run to. Now, Kaigazienu be that idiot called Hundeyin or whatever they call him. Hundeyin, we have come to knock on your door this very moment. This is going to be the final one. After this one, I will open the mic for Biafrans to come in and of course make their contribution. They called him Hundeyin. He's an Afonja. Listen, there is difference between being an Afonja and being a Yoruba man. I want you to pay attention. There's a difference between being an Afonja and being a Yoruba man. Right? It's like an Igbo man calling a thief, a criminal, a sabo in Igbo land, Ifajona. When you call a sabo from Igbo land an Ifajona, does not mean that you are insulting Igbo people. Because that man you are calling Afonja, you are calling Ifajona is an Igbo man. No. Ifajona is a rejected name that nobody will give birth tomorrow or today and give that name Ifajona. It's a rejected name in Biafra, in Igbo land as a whole, or in Biafra land as a whole. Yes, in the entire Biafra territory, that name Ifajona is rejected. Nobody will give birth and name that child Ifajona in the entire Biafra land. because of the role of that man that bore that name called Ifajuna. The same way we refer these likes, this type of people from Yoruba land as Afonja, that does not mean that we are calling the entire Yoruba as Afonja. No. Because we know what Afonja stands for, or what he stood for when he was here. We know what he did to his own people that cost them a Lorraine today, the present day Kwara State. It was because of Ifajuna's, not Ifajuna, Afonja's, greediness and sabotage that the Yoruba tribe lost a Lorraine today in the hands of the Fulani. Today, you have Emir of a Lorraine. Emir of a Lorraine, a Fulani man. Even the present day governor of a Lorraine is a Fulani man. Yoruba man does not have the capacity to govern a Lorraine, not a Lorraine, Kwara State. Kwara State. Because of the treasury of Afonja, because of the treasury of Afonja. And let me tell you, in Yoruba land today, the likes of this Afonja are too many. Too many in Yoruba land. They have a lot to deal with. By the time they begin to be serious with their freedom, they have so much to deal with. Our own will be child's play to what Yoruba people, upcoming freedom fighters will deal with. I'm telling you the truth. I am seriously telling you the truth. The only lucky there will be is if, as Biafra has left the zoo, and the zoo finally break into pieces. Everybody will say, okay, since these people have left, we are no longer interested. Everybody will go into the entity will be completely balkanized. That is going to be the only chance the Yoruba people will have in order to curtail with Afonja in their midst. If not, the day they will go into the struggle on a serious note, the way we are fighting now seriously for our freedom, I want to tell you, Biafra saboteurs and the Fajunas in Biafra land will be child's play to compare with what the Yoruba upcoming freedom fighters are going to see. I'm telling you, because Afonjas in Yoruba land is too many. They are many. They are legion. And this idiot on your screen is one of them. Let us listen to him.
At best is a pawn. At best is being used and doesn't even understand it. He doesn't strike me as a particularly bright person. I actually think Nnamdi Kanu is a much more dangerous political secessionist than Simon Èkpá.
Let us listen to that again. Can you hear him? Dear friends, let me know in the comment section if you can hear the idiot properly. Tell me in the comment section if you can hear him. Before we proceed, let me know if you can hear him properly, please.
At best is a pawn. At best is being used and doesn't even understand it. He doesn't strike.
Now, from the beginning, he said, Simon Èkpá, I think he's a con. I think he's a con. The same word they used on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a con man, right? Including Asari Tokumbo also used that same word on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He called him a con man. This idiot now is calling the prime minister a con man, and there is something else he said that he thinks he's being used. The idiot said, and I think he's being used. This interview is very, 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 very okay. That's why I'm talking about it today. He said, and I think he's being used. And then he said something about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let us listen to him, my people.
Èkpá at best is a pawn. At best is being
Simon Ekpa at best is a con. At he's being used. Let us hear him. He called him a con man. The same thing they called Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And I want to ask, well, I'm going to ask that question in a jiffy.
Èkpá at best is a pawn. At best is being used and doesn't even understand it. He doesn't strike me as a particularly bright person. I actually think Nnamdi Kanu is a much more dangerous political secessionist than Simon Èkpá.
Can we see any video or tweet made by this criminal? Do you know what they say he is? They say he is the founder of West Africa Weekly. Founder of West Africa Weekly in Nigeria. This is an avenue of stealing. Anybody you see fighting against the dissolution of the zoo is a criminal. Anybody you see fighting against the dissolution of the zoo is a criminal. Because they cannot fold their arms and watch you destroy the criminal entity that has given them enabling environment to commit criminal activities. This useless name, they say he is the founder that they call West Africa Weekly.